This is your Senior Moment, brought to you by Senior Guide USA, with your host, Lee St. John.
Hi, this is Lee St. John, and I am here with my friend Burke Franklin. Welcome, Burke.
Thank you, Lee. I love being here talking to you.
Now, we're going to discuss today starting a business in your senior years. Now, a lot of seniors, go through their life often working for somebody else, and they reach retirement and they play about as much golf as they can possibly play and go, now what? And a lot of people are going, I really would like to, I've always wanted to work for myself, or I've always had this idea of starting this particular business. Now, Burke, this is right up your alley. Not that you're a senior, but starting a business is right up your alley. So tell us about your company, pronounce it for us, and tell us what the website is.
Well, the company is called Jian, spelled Jian, and I got that name from a book called Jian, and it said, well, the ninja is the master of the martial arts, the Jian is the master of every art. And I thought, ooh, how cool is that? I mean, it's better than being a jack of all trades and master of none. And perhaps my software products could enable people to master the art of business, because they've got a business plan template that helps you. It's really designed to help entrepreneurs raise capital from friends and family and from professional investors. And we've got a couple of million users, believe it or not, over the last 25 years.
All right.
And I don't really know how much it's raised, but my best guess is several $1 billion, actually, but my client customers have raised using the software. So it's definitely worked. The big names in Silicon Valley have funded businesses who've used BizPlan Builder, and so that's been good. We've got an employee policy manual, a marketing plan, a public relations plan. It's all that stuff, all these tools that can get you up and running in business and backed up by some expert help that will get you going with these templates. And it makes starting a business and getting your business off the ground much, much easier.
Terrific, because all of that sounds a little daunting, but going back to your business name, when you work for yourself in small business, you really do need to be a master of it all, but that doesn't mean that you have to know it all yourself. There are so many resources available for you. So let's go through, let's say we have Fred. And Fred, if you're listening, welcome to the program. So let's say we have Fred. Fred is retired. Fred has an idea to go and start a particular type of business. So, Burke, step us through what you would suggest that Fred does, one step at a time.
Well, first of all, so you read these checklists of what you need to do to start a business. And you go to the state, and you go to the city, and you file all this government stuff. First, I would pass up all that government stuff and paperwork until you really figure out if you really want to do this business. I presume Fred has saved some retirement, and oftentimes maybe you've invented something. You think, I want to promote my invention. I've played golf. I've got a new golf club. You've got some things still, sure. And the reason I made BizPlan Builder mostly because I was working on people's business plans for people like Fred who've got an idea either for a business or they've got an invention that they just want to make and do something with. And so the business plan really helps with that. I would start with the financial model to look to see. You want to know, is this business really worth doing? Because you don't want to risk your life savings. As Warren Buffett says, the first rule of investing is don't lose your money. The second rule of investing is remember the
rule one, yeah.
So we don't, at this stage of the game, we don't want to have to go back to the drawing board. You don't want to end up being, a Walmart greeter because you've lost your retirement. So that's the number one key ingredient. So you want to look at this and do the math on it and say, okay, how many people are there who likely buy this widget? And if I was to sell them for X dollars and it cost me Y dollars to land the customer and all expenses and all that, and what does this business really look like? And then look at how many do I need to sell per day? How many do I need to sell per month? If I need to sell 1,000 of these things per day to make this thing a success, and even a slight success, then I think you got a problem, I mean, I wish I could sell 1,000 copies of my software per day.
It'd be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah.
It doesn't happen.
No.
So, you've got to look at this realistically and not, I think we even have the notes in the Excel templates. And the Excel templates really, there's lots of people who know how to use Excel templates. And it's important, I think, to use them because you can see the numbers, you can see the math, You can share them with somebody else. Like you go to your banker, have lunch with your banker, and let's sit down with them and say, is this realistic? Does this make sense? I mean, you guys finance businesses or give business loans and analyze loans and plans and proposals all day long, and let the banker shoot some holes in it, because the most important thing is not losing your retirement. And we have had a few people call up or write testimonials and say, wow, we used your software. Software was great. We decided not to do the business because
Yes.
we couldn't make the business make sense. And I really want to encourage you to, well, I won't say be cynical, but at least be skeptical, because it's going to take some work to build this business, so it's really got to be worthwhile. And to be careful with your numbers so you're realistically, like, how many of these do I really think I can sell? How many people really need to buy this? If I have a website or if I have a store, will one person out of 100 who either visits my store or visits my website or comes into my store, will they buy something? Is that enough? How many people do I really need to sell to make this thing a success? So do the math first is my whole point. Do the math first to see, do you want to go further? Because what's the point of filing government documents and writing a big business plan and doing all this stuff if you just can't make the numbers work? Because, go to the beach, find other retirement starting a business. If the business is going to cause you headaches and make you go broke, that's not going to be good.
Yeah, you may as well go broke sitting beside the beach.
That's a better deal.
But what you were saying as well about spotting the potholes before you actually move forward, that's a really, really useful thing to do. Yeah, seriously, have other people look at this for you before you venture in, with the whole idea of saying, find me the holes. Tell me why this won't work.
Yeah, and sometimes I hate the naysayers, because or the people say, well, let me play devil's advocate with you, You think, oh, come on, Can we look at the possibilities of how this thing could be a success? But nevertheless, there are these. It seems like a knee-jerk thing for most people. They want to tell you what's wrong with it. It's so easy to find what's wrong with it. And, is it really helping you? And I think in this case, let that be. Consider that help. Let that be help.
Absolutely.
If they come up with things that are wrong with it, that's not an issue. I mean, really, this is not the time for magical thinking. This is not the time until we're going to go here, and go there, and then a miracle is going to occur. We're going to be saved. I think you really need to be able to connect the dots quite a ways down the road before you take off on something like this.
All right, so Fred's now gone through, he's done the numbers, and maybe, Fred, if you're listening and you go, Excel, I don't know how to use that, chances are you have children or grandchildren that can help you out on that one. So Fred's gone through, he's done the numbers, he's met with a couple of people that have already spotted some potholes for him, and he thinks that he's come up with some ways to fill in those potholes before he starts. Now what?
Well, first, let me say, in Excel, with our models, you really don't need to know how to use Excel, except how to open it up. Just double-click on it, open it, and you'll fill in the numbers. So the numbers you change are going to be in bright blue, and everything else in black is going to have a formula to it. And it's going to do the math for you. I mean, I made this for myself. I'm more of a right brain. I can't really call myself an artist because I can't paint or draw very well, but nevertheless, I have that kind of artistic mind where I look at this and go, I can't do that math. I mean, how do you do the math? I made this spreadsheet so they would do the math for me. And then I made them pretty so you could understand how to do the math as well. So that said, so to answer your question, I mean, the next thing would be, at least I would say, skim through the business plan, because the business plan templates themselves are think of it like a blueprint or a movie script for the whole business. So you can at least look through to see what all is involved in this business. Are there people I need to hire? Are there outside services I need to consider? Do I need a location? Do I need something manufactured? How am I gonna market this? What are some of the marketing options for promoting what I'm doing? Am I going to use an outdoor billboard sign? We still see those. And there's certain applications where they make sense. Am I going to rely strictly on email? Not a good idea, I don't think, because I just was looking at my emails today. I'm inundated with all these brilliant subject lines and great ideas, and I'm just deleting them wholesale because I know most of them are just misleading and lies. So,
and even the ones that are not, even the ones that have really good information. I mean, we're time poor these days.
yeah, how do you don't even know. And so, but most people are so cynical these days, and they look at it and they just delete. So your new thing is going to, so anyway, emails that way. Is it direct mail? What's that going to cost? And again, there's some math on that we help you with. But, looking at just the whole spectrum from start to finish. Remember, a chain is as strong as its weakest link. So you could have this whole business set up, but, here's this problem with a location that's really bad, and then the only time you really start getting involved with the government now is that, I say the government in general, but, if you've got the location figured out, the businesses that go, then you want to do things like, okay, I need to secure a location, or I need to secure a business name. Then you might file your fictitious business name statement. You go down to the probably the county clerk's office, which might be in your courthouse, wherever you are. County clerk's office, you file that, and then it publishes in the newspaper, and then you could open a business checking account because you want to separate your business from your personal. And so there's that. If you want to incorporate, there's Laughlin Associates we recommend out of Nevada that is one of those incorporation companies. For a few bucks, they'll file documents with the state, get your name, get an incorporation set up so you can, if you want to issue stock in your business. At this stage of the game, do you want to build a business with stock and investors? I would guess probably not. So you're going to be a sole proprietor, but you want to protect yourself with, some kind of, corporate, structure that protects your liability. So there's that, but like I said, I wouldn't go too over the top with all the government stuff, but at least you have a business account and you can map out what your business is going to start to look like.
Cool. And do you have an example of somebody that's a senior that's gone through this process?
Well, yeah, we had a couple that bought a bed and breakfast in Pennsylvania, and she needed a loan to get an SBA loan, in fact, to buy the bed and breakfast. And with the SBA, you're going to have some hoops to jump through. They want to see a business plan. In fact, they require a business plan for an SBA loan. Either way, you're going to want to have gone through it, thought it through, edited it. And that's really where our business plan helps. We've really done it for you. If something else, it's $1,000 worth of typing. It's only $100, but it's only $100, but it's only less than $100. It's like $1,000 worth of typing.
Yep.
But really, you're going through. You're getting some ideas of what needs to be said and done. And the SBA wants to see a plan. The bank wants to see a plan. They want to understand it. It's great for explaining to your friends and family. It's more important, I guess, really for you. Because for people, we really underestimate our own impact on things, our own presence in the ability to drive something forward. Where if you've really thought this plan through and thought about all the aspects of it, and I don't say have answers for everything, although you'll likely come up with them. We provide a lot of answers for you. But nevertheless, if people ask you questions, you can at least have thought about it. You're not going to get blindsided by some question. Have you ever thought about this?
Yeah.
Oh, God, great idea. I didn't think about that. Probably not going to happen. I'd say 99.9% of the chance that's never going to happen with biz plan builders. Because we've been doing this 25 years. I go to investor presentations all the time. And anytime someone says something that I think, ooh, we haven't covered that idea, we build it in. But I haven't heard anything lately. So anyway.
Cool.
So, she did this. She wrote the plan. She got the SBA loan. The SBA loan likes real estate. It was a bed and breakfast, pretty straightforward kind of business, not all that complicated. And that might be, you think about how can you build a business that isn't going to be all that complicated, And if you are an inventor or an engineer type, you can invent some nice invention. I would do the business plan so you can really understand the business on it. At this stage of the game, what I would do, I would look to license this product to some company to run with. And I've got a friend named Rand Brenner. You can look him up, BRENNER. He's a licensing expert, and he can help you figure out how you would license your invention to a company to manufacture. So, unless you want to build a business in your golden years, and you're going to run a business and have to get up and go manage people every day, which you might, I'm thinking I'd rather invent stuff and license it. Invent another thing, license that, and that would be fun, and not a lot of work. But you could brainstorm on the business. And someone you're going to license it to is going to want to see a business plan to get a sense of, well, how does this product going to make it in the world?
Exactly.
And that's what that would help you with.
Yep. And Burke, something you and I were talking about the other day is a lot of people, they're retired, they have their nest egg. Their younger relations are often coming to them and saying, hey, can you invest in my business? So this is a perfect opportunity for the children or the grandchildren to go through and come up with the business plan.
Well, that very thing actually is happening in part of my family. My sister and her husband have a couple of kids, and these guys have gone down to Chile, and they were interested in organic winemaking. And so Chile is a big place for wineries these days. And so they want to start a wine. They want to buy a field. They want to grow grapes. They want to ultimately do the whole thing. And, of course, they're hitting up my brother-in-law for the money. I'm looking at him and thinking, well, when are they going to call me for the business plan?
Yeah,
because
pretty
I'm having
much.
to give them a copy to do this thing. They're gonna trade me some wine for this thing down the road.
Hey, that could be a good deal.
Yeah, I mean, and this guy's an estate planning attorney, so he knows some things. He's pretty well versed in reality.
Yeah.
And so he's making the kids write a business plan because he wants them to understand. Not so much so he understands it, but he wants to be sure
that they do
understand
exactly.
It. And it's really a business education in a box. And the idea is that it's designed to really help you understand business, but not make you understand all businesses. You will naturally take what you know about the business area that you're interested in, and you'll fill in the blanks, you'll finish the sentences, and you really think about it. This will just give you lots of ideas to think about for your own business, things to consider. I think that's important, and it helps you do it very quickly and easily. And that's the whole point. I mean, I had an ancient history professor in school, and I'd write these papers that I thought were brilliant, but they were lacking. They were just lacking in detail. And he would write in red ink all over my document, over my papers, like I thought somebody got murdered in his office with so much red ink on my papers. And at first I would get F because he would say, what do you mean by that? Give me an example. Show me. How many? Who, what, why, where, when, and how. Prove it.
Yes.
Name names. Give me some numbers. And I thought, whoa, and that, I could hear this guy in my head. I went to a boarding school in Virginia. It was like the Dead Poets Society. We had this class where this guy there was 8 boys in this class. There was
nowhere to escape.
There was no escape. There was no way to, so-called BS your way through a paper. This guy didn't let you get away with it. And so these venture capitalists and investors and anybody looking at investing in your business or working with you, they're not going to maybe have the training that I had with this guy, but somewhere in the back of their mind, they're gonna be like him asking questions, because if you're asking anybody to throw in with you and write you a check, there's a lot of questions they're gonna have. And you are your own venture capitalist, really, in this deal. So you're spending your money. It's your retirement money. It's your fund. You've got to think like a VC and really be skeptical. Really think, what better can I do with this money? I'm back to you cannot afford to lose it. So you really want to be ruthless on your own deal. And that's going to be hard because you've got such a great idea. You just didn't want to do it. The bed and breakfast is for sale down the street.
I totally get it. Well, Burke, this has been just such an education for everyone listening. And Fred, you need to actually go to jian.com. That's JIAN.com to go and get your business plan template, to get your information to be able to step you through. Again, Burke Franklin, it was our pleasure to talk with you today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lee. My pleasure, too.
Have a great day, everybody.